December 4, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. Looks like there was a rally, kind of a sideways consolidation in the second rally, so almost looked like the StairStep. This is how I drew up the charts today. There weren't too many setups. The volume was starting to pick up, which is cool. And over here, I couldn't quite find the correct or the panel that I really liked. I initially started with this yellow one, then I switched to this purple one, which widened it up. Looks like there's two legs up, one leg up, consolidation, a second leg up. And in between, there was a lot of little choppy price action. I took a total of one trade today, and it was profitable. And then there wasn't too many other opportunities. There were these two other trades back here that looked like they were probably decent setups in hindsight. The only economic data that came out today was at 5:15 Pacific Standard, which is about right here where my cursor is. About right here. It was the ADP Non-Farm Employment Change, which really didn't move the market all that much. It was already rallying. Afterwards, it didn't really do that much. Then the 7 a.m. Pacific Standard, which is about right here, kind of caused this big drop right here. Big is a relative term. It was about a 6-point drop. It was the ISM Services PMI, and then Fed Chair Powell came out and spoke at 10:45 Pacific Standard. About right here. I mean, you could argue maybe he caused this rally, but I really don't think that was him. It was just the market doing its thing. So I'll get into the trades right now. So this is a pre-market. Pre-market was a pretty healthy uptrend, then a sell-off right before the open. It opens and it hits this consolidation right below the EMA. It's just chopping. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long. You have a second entry long here, but there's no real setup here because the second entry long doesn't show up until right here. And there's no indication to go long yet. So I'm just sitting on my hands. It's a new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here. Push up on this yellow up channel, break, one attempt up, comes down. I draw this as a supporting support line, and I was thinking maybe it's in a trading range. And it bounces, a bunch of dojis here, nothing really great. Kind of looks like it's moving up in two legs, but there's no clear second entry, so no trade. It's a failed breakout here. It sells off on this green down channel, and it sets up what I think is actually the first setup. It's actually a new high from a failed breakout, makes a corresponding matching symmetric failed, well, not failed breakout here, and another failed breakout. It's moving back into the trading range. So it creates a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long right here. So this is a double top right here, pulls down. If you decide to take a trade, I feel it's a little risky here because this looks a little congested. Granted, these candles are pretty small. There's only a 4-tick, 5-tick, and a 3-tick candle. So it might have been worth a shot, but I waited. Then I saw this. So it looks like a new low, first entry short, second entry short. You have a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. Second entry long looked like it failed right here, but then it comes back. It hasn't failed in the second entry short yet. Then right here, this is where it creates this failed second entry short. Sitting through this, maybe there's a possible trade here where this black arrow is, because it made a quadruple test high here. It's a break of this green down channel, made one attempt down, made a second attempt down. Looks like it failed. Looks like this trading range is holding, and so it's bouncing and pushing back through. So the follow through on this failed second entry long didn't really show up. Then there's a second entry short that doesn't really follow through either. But the reason I think this is a possible trade is because this is only a 3-tick candle. Granted, it's a doji, so it's hard to really know, but the risk isn't that high. The reason being is you keep your stop below this candle. This candle here is only 7 ticks. So if you entered here, 1 tick up, this is like an 8 to 9 tick trading risk trade. The thing I wasn't sure about was the EMA is, flattening, but it didn't make it decisive. If this had occurred closer to it, then I wouldn't quite have given as much respect to the EMA, but it's still just kind of making a quadruple test here. It finally flushes up. So this is definitely a trade I think probably was worth taking. I think I was a little too conservative on it because this is a really small candle, and keeping the stop on below this candle is already pretty, it's like a pretty risk reward wise was probably worth it. Prices then move up. Looks like it moved down 2 attempts up, then another flush down. Breaks in this green down channel. It doesn't try to test the lows, so I'm thinking this downtrend may have played out. It's not going to come back and try to test this low. It's moving back up now. It starts floating up on, looks like this orange up channel. It also hits this consolidation range. There's a triple test right here. There's a new low. First entry short, pull back, second entry short, creates a higher low. And it looks like it's confirming the new high, first entry long, second entry long, and first entry short, second entry short. Technically, the second entry short has failed. This is a higher low. I was watching for a break above this resistance line. When it pushed up and broke, I really liked the way this candle ended. It closed the high. So I thought, okay, I'm going to watch the next candle. And if it actually breaks above this candle here, then I think it's going to have a quick spike up enough for a 1-point scalp. That's exactly what it did. It opened here, it went down, and when it went up, it actually broke above this guy, and it broke above this triple test. It entered right here. Fortunately, the price came back, picked me up, because I'm only 1 tick below the highs here. Just wanted to reduce my risk, because this is a 10-tick trade, 10-tick risk candle. So I entered a little lower just to reduce my risk. Came back, picked me up, flushed up, and get me my 1-point scalp. But then I trailed my runner from down here. When this closed, I put it 1 tick behind this guy, which is up. I put it 1 tick behind this doji, which is up. Put it 1 tick behind this big candle. Looks like there's a failed breakout of this pre-market range. So I'm wondering if prices are coming back down, hovering. And when this happened, it pushed back. I moved my runner stop 1 tick below this guy because I'm thinking it's going to push back up. And if it doesn't, I want to not have given back this big move, but maybe at least this smaller move. It flushes, and it does take me out right here. So 1 tick below, 60.84 even, and that's where I got stopped out of my runner. Then prices continue moving. It sets up what I think is an almost trade. It's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. It's also a new low, first entry short, second entry short. This is a lower high of also the second entry short. The second entry short hasn't confirmed yet. So then it pushes down. And I thought it was a good signal bar. The prices are coming from this failed breakout at the pre-market range. It's small 6-bar risk. But when I saw this, I wasn't really confident in my read. So I figured I would just skip it because it looks a little congested. But then it flushed through and it would have been a pretty, quick trade for a scalp. So then continue moving down on this green down channel. And overall, the market structure right now is this rally, and it looks like it's this consolidation sideways. It was a smaller trading range I was playing initially, but then it looked like it's slightly bigger, but now it looks like it's starting to push its way back up. It's this own little trading range consolidation here. Just very tight trading here, and nothing I particularly like, because this is only a 2-point range here. Technically, you have a new high, then you have a new high reset. First entry long, you don't get a second entry long, and then it has a triple test here. Triple test, I'm thinking there could be a range here. So I'm looking for any reason to maybe go for short here because there's a consistent resistance here. Not really consistent support here. The first entry long, pull back. Creates the second entry long with a bad signal bar, no trade. Comes back up, and this is actually where it creates the triple test. This is actually, I didn't mark it. Multiple tests. This is actually a worthwhile trade to have considered because it looks like it's having trouble here. It's the highest it's ever been. This is the highest the E-futures mini has ever been ever because it's just making new highs every day. So this is worth considering because it made a double top, then it flushed down, closed at the low of this candle in the small little spike. So this is a possible trade here, worth trade risk. Looks like it would have worked for a 1-point scalp. You do have a triple test here, but then even though it flushed up, it closed the low, not something I particularly like, and it has a failed breakout here. Pushes back up. So now it actually broke above this original resistance. So I'm not really trusting to go short anymore. You have first entry long. It flushes all the way down on this green down channel. So there's no more setup here. Break of this green down channel and attempt to test the low. It didn't make a new low, but it's good enough, and it already pushed back up. So now I'm sitting and watching and waiting. Pushes up on this orange up channel, flushes down. Initially, I was playing this yellow up channel, and there's no clean setup. There's a new high, say first entry long, and then you don't really get a second entry long. You don't really get another second entry long. Comes here, then it's a new high, first entry long pullback. This is a second entry long. It's a possible trade. The thing that is bouncing off of the yellow up channel. The purple one doesn't exist yet, but the yellow one's what I'm playing. It did have a first entry long, second entry long. It's a really strong signal bar. Bounce off the EMA, bounce off the support of the yellow up channel. So you have two key entry points. What gave me pause was this candle is the 12, 15 ticks, and it flushed really hard, and then it kind of did a quick bounce here. So that gave me pause, but in hindsight, I think this might have been worth a trade to take because it's only a 5-tick risk candle. Made a double bottom going back up. Looked like it would have worked, so left it alone. There's no higher low, fortunately. So it starts moving up and creates a first entry long pullback. And when this formed, I thought there might have been a purple channel that's slightly larger. The new high, first entry long, pullback, bounce. This is a second entry long. Another possible trade is a little more aggressive because previously this yellow up channel, this bounce is using the support of the yellow up channel as a key entry point. Here, it already broke the purple up channel, which also confirms nicely. So it's a break and it's maybe moving back in. The thing that makes this trade a little more riskier, in my opinion, is this is a little bit, better developed trading range or trend channel, but it was back here. But then it broke out, and now I'm trading on this purple one. It is bouncing off the EMA. This is a smaller difference than this one because this is a very small candle compared to this guy. So it's already making it halfway, bounce off here, but it just has the key entry point of the EMA, whereas opposed to this trade here had the EMA and the support. So it's a possible trade if you're more aggressive. I left it alone. You don't get a higher low, unfortunately. Then it kind of pushes into the close and it just gets really choppy in the last 10 minutes. So it's kind of an interesting day. Volume is picking up, which is encouraging. Hopefully tomorrow it'll pick up even more because I think traders are coming back from maybe their holiday break. And I think tomorrow the only economic data that's coming out is unemployment claims at 5:30. So that's in the pre-market. So it's kind of an interesting day. Took one trade and pretty happy with it. There was a potential setup here. And I think there was this multiple test here was probably something worth taking. So hopefully that was helpful.